Okay, so last time on Tourist Trophy, we did the Sunday Cup, and after my capture card decided to suddenly cut itself off from the recording before, I had to redo the first two races. And well, basically the third race I did during the episode itself because, well, I reset the game before I could finish the third race because my capture card was not getting it captured, if you know what that means. Anyway, on now to the Clubman Cup, and I think this time what we're going to do is we're going to use some Yamahas, and I will start this off by using the Yamaha RSV 500R because I reckon this is probably the sort of bike I will more or less be competing against in our next series of events. And this bike is 40 years old. Anyway, on now to event 6, Clubman Cup. And where the tracks we are heading to this time are Suzuka Circuit West, Twin Ring Motegi East, and Midfield Raceway. And I'm still going to continue the parity, but I think this time I'm going to do this event exclusively with riding Yamahas. So there is still parity involved, but I think just because I want to more or less get through this now, I might as well just stick with riding Yamahas for these next few events. So, for our first race, we have a Kawasaki Z1000 S1, along with a Kawasaki GPZ 400R, and a Suzuki GSX R400. I'm convinced in saying no changes need to be made here. But if they do, then I'll be waiting for them. However, I'm convinced in saying this will not be too hard for me to win, because I am technically riding the most powerful bike in the field here. And already I am up into second. And 2 seconds is the gap to the leader. I'm pretty sure that's going to be pretty easy for me to close in, because I think for this first one I might have chosen an overpowered bike. There's a definite possibility I might have done that, from what I can see. Oh shit, I went too fast. Okay, I saved it. Got a little bit loose there on the grass, but able to save it. And it's fair to say this is gonna pretty much be another domination race. And what do you know? It's another racing bike. I had a feeling the S1 might be another racing bike. It certainly wasn't going to be a road bike, I know that for sure. And I get a little touch there from the back, but that's okay because I do manage to keep myself in the thick of it. And it looks like this one is going to be race win to me. because that's more or less what I am doing here. Under the circumstances. Oh, yeah, I am too deep again. Okay, now I fall off. Well, I had a feeling that was going to happen sooner or later. I think it was just a matter of when that was going to happen. But either way, it doesn't really matter because I'm pretty much out here with a gap, and I am 3 seconds clear of my opponent. And we'll see how we go. So everything seems to be going well so far. I have not choked away my lead. And the gap is now 4.2 seconds. And it looks like that gap is probably going to continue to get bigger, the way I see things. But anyway. Just have to go out and win. And that's pretty much what I am doing. And so, there we go. Easy win in race 1. I'm also pretty sure the other two are not going to make it to the line before the finish. Well, one of them does. Anyway. There we go. First race down, and I gotta say, a pretty dominant one once I took the lead as well, as I won by nearly 7 seconds over the Z1000S1, and we had the GPZ 400R finishing in 3rd, along with the GSXR 400 finishing 4th. Okay, 1 race down, and 2 races to go, as we now move on to our second one. So, we're winning a few of these single race events. We do actually get extra helmets, and that's about the only thing we really get. And for winning this race, we get another Suzuki Skywave 650, this time in silver. And now we move on to event number 2, and where I will switch over to another Yamaha for this, because I'm pretty sure the next event we have to do involves using a Yamaha, from what I know. But anyway, we switch over to another Yamaha, because I have to still keep up the parity during single race events for now, because why not? Let's now use how much more powerful is the other one? Okay. Are there any others I can use here? You know what? Let's use the TZ125, because I'm in the mood for that. And also because I'm convinced in saying that this bike is pretty fast. So I don't think we're going to have too many problems at Motegi in terms of speed. Oh, that's not where I wanted to go. So, let's head over to Motegi for race 2 of the Clubman Cup. I'm pretty sure this will be easy. I don't think we'll have too many problems here, from what I can tell, as our competition this time is a Kawasaki Zephyr 1100, a Kawasaki GPZ 400R, and a Suzuki GSX 1100S Katana. Let's see if we can beat these guys. I'm convinced in saying that the acceleration of this bike will be enough to catch up to the leaders. And also because of the way it handles. And able to save it again after getting caught out by the grass. May not quite have the fastest bike here, but I do have pretty quick acceleration. I don't think this is going to be too hard for me to catch up to the leader. I just have to make sure I get through the corners better. And let this bike's nimbleness do all the talking. Because I'm cool like that. Okay, up to third now, and the gap is 3.1 seconds. So I think it's pretty obvious to say that the newer bike is definitely besting the old bikes in the corners. I definitely have the advantage in terms of cornering speed, and it's for that reason alone that I am catching up to my Kawasaki Zephyr, who is in front of me. And also because, well, I figure since I am still technically using a Yamaha, for now at least, it does still keep this interesting. And I'm convinced in saying that's more or less what I had to do in order to maintain the uniqueness I have among a lot of these bikes. If this was in a straight line, I have no doubt in saying that I would most likely not be able to successfully pull off the win if we were just simply doing this race on speed. Then it's fair to say I would more or less have no chance. But since I am doing this on a Yamaha TZ125 that has strong acceleration as well as strong cornering speed, that is the main reason why, at this time at least, I am able to flourish. Because that is what I want. I want to be given the ability to flourish where it matters most. And it looks like that's going to happen because I have a 2-second gap over the Kawasaki Zephyr. And I am strongly convinced in saying that my modernized handling and acceleration are definitely pulling me along as I go further and further into this run. just maintaining control of the bike, and it looks like at this stage we are doing okay. And off the final corner, and there we go, easy win. By 4.2 seconds over the Kawasaki Zephyr. Is anyone else going to make it? And everyone does make it. So you know what? I will save the replay for that. Anyway. Sorry, I nearly lost my voice there. But anyway, there we go. TZ125 beats Suzuki GSX 1100 and both Kawasaki's at Twin Ring Motegi East. So we will now save this replay, because I figured, oh, that's not what I wanted to do, because why not? So, yeah. Alrighty, we have one race to go now. And as you might have guessed, I will of course be switching bikes again because I have to keep up the parity one way or another for single race events, because I want to keep this interesting. So, for winning race 2, we get another Triumph Daytona 650, this time in yellow. Cool. I'm also pretty sure later on in the game we do actually get the racing modified version of this bike as well. Anyway, 2 races down, 1 race to go. And I will now be switching bikes again, because that is what I do. So, switching to yet another Yamaha, because I'm cool like that. And this time, I will use actually, let's use the TZR 250 SPR for this one, because I haven't used a bike from the 90s yet. It keeps it interesting. It also shows that I can basically win 3 races riding bikes from 3 different decades. The 80s, the 2000s, and now the 90s. As we have got 3 laps around Midfield Raceway. So, let's go and get it done. And then we can move on to our 2 championship events that will follow up in the next session I do. So we've got a Yamaha FCR 400, a Suzuki GSXR 400, and the Yamaha VMAX Racing Modified. So 3 Yamahas and 1 Suzuki is our competition. And hopefully, if it's possible, I do have enough pace to make a run for the win. If I can do that. But as ever, we'll wait and see what happens. So, already clearing the Yamaha VMAX with relative ease, because obviously that bike is so heavy. It's pretty easy to clear in my opinion. Probably being the reason why it's at the back of the grid. And now closing in on the Suzuki, which is in the middle of the field. And only 3.5 seconds back from the leader. And round the outside of the Suzuki, I'm going to lift here as I get through the S-bend. I know there's definitely a trip-up point in the middle of that corner, and I know in a race such as this that I cannot afford to make that sort of mistake. And it looks like my top speed deficit is definitely plaguing me at the moment. But we still have 2 full laps to go, so I can catch up to my opponent. And that's pretty much what I am doing, as I am now just 6.5 tenths behind the leader. So let's see if we can get this done. And in saying that, I pass him around the outside, so I'm strongly convinced in saying that these races, for me, have been pretty easy. And the gap is now 7 tenths since I took the lead heading out of the banking. So now heading through the second tunnel, lifting for the kink, and underneath the crossover bridge, and now on my way to what should be another victory, because my bike is just that much better through the corners than the AI. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be too much of a task for me to win, because I already have at least a 1 second advantage in my favour. And the gap is now 3 seconds. So it looks like we are going to be good here. And so I have now broken away from my competition by 4.6 seconds. And heading through the S-bend for the final time, and over the brow, and there we go, clean sweep of the Clubman Cup. And I did that riding 3 completely different Yamahas from 3 completely different decades, and 5 seconds is the gap in the end over the FCR 400 racing bike. So there's your order: Yamaha FCR 400 in second, the Suzuki GSXR 400 in third, and then it was the Yamaha VMAX who finished in fourth and last. And a total of 10.5 seconds from first to fourth, and 5.1 seconds from first to second, as well as 7.4 seconds from first to third. I know you don't really care about that, but I just figured it was, well, necessary for me to reference those points, because, well, personally, I like numbers. And this time we get the RG250 Gamma Racing Modified. And as ever, putting on my distinctive number 24, because I get that number from being a Jeff Gordon fan, like I've said before. And there we go. That is now 6 events in the race events now done, and also 2 events done in the racing portion of the event. And next up will be the T-Max Cup, where we will basically be on racing scooters. So, let's go now and check out our new prizes. So, for winning race 1, we get another Suzuki Skywave. Here it is. So, for winning race 1, we get the Sonic Silver Metallic Suzuki Skywave. And this is definitely a sporty scooter, if you ask me, because of how much more powerful it is. And in all honesty, this thing definitely looks like it's ready to strike. That's just what I think. Anyway, that's our first one. Our second one is this yellow, or racing yellow, Triumph Daytona 650. Same model as the one we got in the Sunday Cup, but this time we get the other colour variant of this bike, because we do. And last but not least, we get the... it's in here somewhere. Oh, that's convenient. The Suzuki RG250 Gamma Racing Modify from 1983. I'm also pretty sure Barry Sheen was known for riding Suzukis in his MotoGP career. He won 2 championships riding a Suzuki, at least I'm pretty sure he did. But anyway, there we go. Those are our 3 prizes from the Clubman Cup. And now, I'm going to switch over to my next bike, which is going to be this, the Yamaha T-Max Racing Modify. And because I have other colour variants to choose from, aside from the ones that I don't get from the normal bikes. But anyway, there we go. And we are now 59.7% complete. So, we've gained another 1.6%, and I think that's a good time to call it a day. So, next time on Tourist Trophy, Yamaha T-Max Cup.